So the tier 5 Bomb Blitz just got a huge damage boost, and on top of this, it is keeping all of the other benefits that it got from the previous updates. So let's try this tower out and let's see how good it actually is. So for those of you that are not aware, this thing has been just getting, but well, actually, you know, we made a video on this and I'm not exactly sure if the things that happened in the previous update were buffs, but what I know for sure is that if you combine the, you know, the changes from the previous update and the ones from this update, this tower is just straight up a lot better than it used to be. So let's talk about the changes. Actually, before we talk about the changes, let's talk about how we're gonna defend round 15. I mean, let's just give this guy a little bit of extra attack speed and maybe a little bit of extra range. Is this gonna change things? Maybe we should. Do we want to have this guy on strong is my question. The Dart Monkey, I feel like the Dart Monkey is the key, so let's have the Dart on strong actually, and let's see. As long as we get rid of the pinks and the yellows, we should be fine. And yes, that was exactly it. You just need to get rid of the other the fast balloons. That's it. Okay, so let's go into the changes right off the get-go. So the first change that happened in the last update, actually, just so I contextualize the changes, the first change was that this guy's price got reduced from 30, I think it was 37.8k on hard mode, and now it's 30,000. So it was about a $7,000 decrease on medium mode, and that's huge. I mean, when you take off $7,000 of a 5th tier tower that doesn't even cost that much, that's an insane price reduction. But they didn't stop here. So basically, this thing used to attack once every 1.5 seconds, and now they kind of toned it down to 1 second. So essentially, it attacks faster. That's what that thing meant. But to compensate for that, they reduced the damage from 6 to 3. And now that's really important because, well, yes, it attacks faster, but you know, now it is, wait, let me just get the missile launcher, by the way. Yeah, it attacks faster, but at the same time it just does a lot less damage. So why did I say that this thing is really good now? Well, because all of that extra damage that it lost, it went from 6 to 3. Well, now in this update, it was just one single line in the patch notes, and it went, the Bomb Blitz's damage got increased from 3 to 5. So now this thing is almost, oh wait a minute, we're leaking. Let's just get this thing like this. Let's see if the Dart Monkey saves us again. But yeah, the damage of this thing is now almost back to where it was. But yeah, the price reduction and the extra attack speed, we get to keep all of those things, which is absolutely insane. So now this thing is even stronger than it was, and let's test how good it is. So normally you would want to buy Striker Jones with this thing, and actually the last time we tested this, I did have Striker Jones, but now I want to have Corvus. And the reason why I want to have Corvus, I don't plan on casting that many spells, honestly. In fact, if we can use as little as spells as possible, that's gonna be amazing. But I do want to have Corvus because Corvus has this ability which allows you to basically get like a mana shield, and you can proc the Bomb Blitz passive ability onto the mana shield. So if we can make that thing happen once, I'm gonna be super happy. And wait a minute, I just said that I don't I want to use spells, but let me just use the spear for a second. Let's use the level 3 ability to get some. Wait a minute, I should turn this thing. No, it turned itself off because we didn't have mana, but that was enough just for the. Let me just harvest a little bit of mana actually. And I don't want to turn this into a Corvus run, but I feel like we are going to need to, because here's the problem with this thing: the spear can pop lead balloons. But let me just dismiss it. But the problem with the lead balloon popping power is that it's behind Corvus and it's behind our other towers. So yeah, it might be a little bit tricky. Yeah, just like this. But I feel like because it's only 2 lead balloons, we should have this thing. Yes, there we go. And a bunch of zebras. So let me just use the spear to clean these guys out. Let me dismiss this thing and let's see if this is gonna decamo all these camo whites. Yeah, there we go. So something I really like about towers like the bottom pad bomb, especially now that this thing does so much damage, is, and I put this thing in the league of something like the overdrive as well, right? Or maybe the destroyer, or maybe the never miss ace, or maybe even the Razor Roder's heli. And something that all of these towers have in common is that we like them so much because they're just so you know, easy to work with, because they scale nicely and they let you buy the next upgrade a lot easier. So for example, if you're talking about the overdrive, you buy this thing, you buff it up, and then you easily have the money for the tag zone. If you're talking about the never miss ace, you buy this thing, you alchemize it, and then it easily saves up for the Spectre, right? And so I feel like that's the same story that we have right now with the recursive clustering to the Bomb Blitz. It's such a good tower, you just buff it up, and then it's, you know, it needs a little bit of extra help versus, you know, these black balloons and zebras, but it can hold its own. And then once you buy the 5th tier, especially the new 5th tier with a bunch of extra damage, I feel like this is just gonna be so much better than it was. And actually, let me use the spear while we're at it, just because there are a lot of zebras in this stage around 39, so let's kind of get rid of those guys. I think I'm actually gonna keep Corvus's spear active just for a second, and then once we're done with the rainbows, close. I'm gonna turn it off right now. So we're gonna have a MOAB in a second, and we don't have a single buff. So let's start with a 300 Alchemist, and then what else can we do? Some Corvus shenanigans? I don't think so. Maybe we just pop this thing and we trample the ceramics, right? So let's go like this, and as soon as it pops, we're gonna need to do it like this, and there we go. That's the MOAB. Oh, come on, man. More zebras, and we do not have the money to afford the MIB, so I feel like it's just gonna be, you know, back with Corvus, I guess. So let's use this thing. Let's use the spear. The spear has been a lifesaver in these past few rounds. Let's just use it again. I'm gonna dismiss it because I do want to keep nourishing. But yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. So look at round 49. So look at what's gonna be happening. A bunch of ceramics, and the problem is gonna be the black balloons and the zebras, but we have the money for the MIB. So once you buy this thing, we have absolutely, am I gonna jinx it? I see a ceramic. No, I don't see a ceramic. There we go. Yes, this tower is just gonna clean everything out. And it's really nice versus, you know, versus these huge groups of balloons. But if you go for the middle cross pet, actually, which is the better one for the Bomb Blitz, especially once you alchemize it like this with the 40 alchemist, it even deals with MOAB class balloons. So that's really nice. And yes, look at this thing. Look at these clusters go. You want to get the extra attack speed because the clusters happen on every second hit, I believe. So if you get extra attack speed, then it's essentially going to be clusters all over the place. And once you get the Bomb Blitz, actually, every attack is a cluster attack. One area in which this tower might struggle, by the way, is going to be fortified balloons. So I do have the harvest. I should probably harvest right now just to get some mana going. And once these fortified balloons start coming out, I feel like the fortified MOABs might be a little bit of a challenge for it. So let's see what happens. We're gonna have two on this round. I feel like the one on the right is gonna pop, but I'm not sure about the one on the left. Maybe he's gonna get close with the ceramics. I should probably repel, honestly. Let's use a repel. Yeah, I am not exactly sure. Maybe we need to help it out a little bit before going for the Bomb Blitz. But actually, this is where this tower shines, right? So it shouldn't have a problem versus, oh my god, it's so close. Yeah, so it shouldn't have a problem versus these, and it doesn't, I don't think, but let me not jinx it. Let's just watch what is happening. Oh my god, these clusters are picking it up. It's really close, but I think it's close just because we're playing on rate. But so this might be a little bit of an issue before you get the Bomb Blitz. So yeah, we're gonna definitely leak on this round, but I'm just kind of thinking, what do we want to do to salvage this thing? Is it gonna be Corvus? Okay, so I do want to fix this, but I don't want to get extra damage. I want to get some support from Corvus, actually. So I'm gonna use the Frostbound, but let's Echo first. Let's Frostbound, and then let's Repel as well, so that we get some pushback going. I think I should harvest some mana back just in case. And then if we need to, we do have the trample, but oh my god, I'm gonna need you guys to stomp them up at the back. There we go. And then these two, I think the repel is still active. It's gonna need to do a lot of work, but oh wow, that was so close. That was incredible patience actually, because I had the trample ready in my hand, but I didn't use it. And I know that I've been saving, you know, this run using Corvus's abilities, but I want to switch once we get the Bomb Blitz, which we do have the money for right now. So let me just buy it. And now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be focusing on the Soul Barrier, because once you use it, it's essentially gonna give us some extra mana. We can leak lives, and once we leak lives, we can use the passive ability on the Bomb Blitz. So that's gonna be amazing. And this is a key round for this one. So we had the recursive, and the recursive was actually struggling versus these guys, versus the 45 MOABs. We know that the Bomb Blitz is not gonna struggle versus them, but how fast does it defeat them? And the answer is very fast. The answer is actually incredibly fast. So I do expect this thing to kind of struggle a little bit versus 45 Bloons when you know, free play rounds start rolling in. But we are gonna have a lot more DPS onto him as well, because we're getting ready with the overclock. We're gonna get some damage amplifiers, and then I'm super excited about Corvus, and then trying to just leak a couple of Bloons, honestly, just so we get the Bomb Blitz at least once in this game. So we see the first 45 BFBs actually into free play. So yeah, these guys should be a little bit of an issue. I do have the overclock, but I'm not gonna be using it. Let's see how. Okay, so look at these ceramics. So the ceramics are actually making it all the way onto the bottom track, and this could be a sign of trouble unless we start overclocking or getting, you know, some support towers soonish. How are we gonna do versus these ramped up Freeplay ZOMGs is my question. I do have the Soul Barrier in my hand, so I'm gonna keep the spell like this, and I feel like it's gonna lose. Yes, let's use the ability, and bam, there we go. We actually saw it. I love doing this thing. Oh my god, it's so fun. But is it actually gonna defend? Yes, it is. That was actually, that's how you do it on Chimps mode. You can, and this, you know what? You actually get to keep your black border because you don't lose, and that's that's so cool actually that they made it work like this. You know, when Corvus came out with the Bomb Blitz, this did not used to work, by the way. That they only made it work in like update 41 or something like that, if I remember correctly. So yeah, oh my god, we're gonna get to do it again. I love doing this thing. Let's just kind of be patient. Maybe it's gonna defend. defend. Let's use it. No, we get to use it again. That's amazing. You know what? I'm thinking maybe we should have done this on a dark path because all the balloons loop in the middle, and so all of them are gonna get hit by the clusters. It would have been amazing, but you know what? Rake is probably fine, and we do lose to DDTs. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so let's overclock this guy. Let me actually test something. Do these spells, these repel and the frostbound, do they work on DDTs? They should, right? I mean, there's no reason not to. Maybe the overclock helped a little bit, but wait a minute, it's pushing this lead balloon. It stopped pushing the lead balloon. I think they work. There's no reason for them not to work, but it's like, I don't know, it's DT, so maybe there's like an interaction there. It was kind of weird. I wasn't able to actually see it that time. You know what? I should probably do the explosion on this round, right? So let's actually harvest a little bit of mana and let's do this. Let's do the explosion, get some damage going on to these ZOMGs. Let me overclock, and the next round is gonna have a bunch of DDTs. So here's how I want to prepare for the DDTs. I'm gonna have one Sabo for sure, but maybe we're gonna have even more than one Sabo. So let's see how we do on this one. We do have the Soul Barrier. How much mana do we have? It's max mana. Okay, so let's watch the Soul Barrier. I'm gonna use the Call to Arms, and I feel like this should be enough. Yeah, there we go. It's enough versus these DDTs, but keep in mind this is only 93. Okay, so the DDTs are incoming. This is the problem that the Bomb Blitz has. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna overclock. We're gonna use the Call to Arms, and we know for a fact that while both of these abilities are active, we can deal with all the DDTs. Now the problem is these guys are gonna disappear, and I hope that the abilities last, but if they don't, we do have a Soul Barrier. So let's see if this is gonna be enough. Oh no, never mind, it's gonna be enough. That's completely fine. So we dealt with this is probably not the most dangerous DDTs because the ones to 99 are gonna be even more dangerous than these ones just because they're fortified. But honestly, so far so good. We have another Sabo. I bought another Sabo. I'm not sure if I told you guys, but yeah, I bought one more Sabo, and then the last tower that I want to buy is probably gonna be the Glue Storm. I want to get in the range of the discounts, and hold on, wait a minute, I see some 45 starting to leak. Let's actually I overclocked, but let's actually try and purposely leak something so that we can erase all these BFBs with the Bomb Blitz ability. Is that even gonna be a thing? I don't know, maybe we're gonna leak something from the ZOMGs. I do have the Soul Barrier in my hand. I think that we are. Let me just use it. Oh no, I used it preemptively. Please, something leak right now. No, the barrier is gonna disappear and we're not gonna get it. Okay, so let's panic mode, Call to Arms, Sabo as soon as possible, and I think we actually have this thing. Oh no, I wanted to leak so bad on that round. Come on, man. And this is gonna be it. This is the big, actually the last 3 rounds are gonna be the big rounds in general. So I have no planner on dealing with the bad balloon. I know this thing is not gonna be able to do it, but let me get the Glue Storm. This is one of the towers that I wanted to buy from the start, so let's get the Glue Storm like that. We can probably get something like an Brilliant Ice, but I do want to save a little bit of cash, but this is gonna be it, guys. These 45 balloons are gonna be the ones that are gonna define whether or not we win this run. So let's use all of the abilities. I'm gonna use the Sabo as well. You know what, I should probably use the Glue Storm as well while we're at it, and we do have Corvus's ability, but the main idea is just dealing with the 45 balloons, and that's it. If we deal with the 45s, it's not guaranteed that we're gonna deal with the ZOMGs, but we're actually gonna have, you know, some things to do with the ZOMGs, like for example maybe the Soul Barrier or stuff. So all of the things expired, so I do have the Soul Barrier in my hand, and so I see these balloons and it's becoming a mess. I should probably use this thing as soon as possible. Yep, I see a ceramic. Yes, that was perfect. That was so good. Oh my god, the entire round is gone. It's gone. That's about it. This Soul Barrier combo, this is so cool. Okay, so let's try and stop these DDTs. So let's go like this. Let's use the Frostbound and the Repel, and then let's use the Sabo, and it is not working on these DDTs. Wait, what? Wait, should I use this then? Should I use the camo that Corvus has so that this thing starts working? Let me just restore a bunch of mana and now use all these abilities. Let's use the Sabo as well. Does this not work on these spirits? Like, what is? I think it should, right? It should work. The Frostbound and the Repel, they should work on DDTs. No. Okay, so a little bit of an issue with these 45 DDTs, it seems like. Let me first off start getting ready for the mad because we don't have for the bad actually because we don't have enough damage. So let me buy both of the spikes from $73. That's insane how close it is. But I feel like, yeah, so the Call to Arms, it's just coming off cooldown, which means it was really a good idea to use it at the start of 98. And so I think I'm just gonna go all out for these DDTs. I wanted to save, you know, some of these abilities for the bad, but it's super slow, so we should get them back. And there we go. That's all the 45 DDTs, right? And yeah, so let's combine these abilities. Let's use the Glue Storm. Let's use both of these Pike Storms. And is this gonna be enough? I mean, the Call to Arms is gonna come off cooldown. So is the Overclock. So I should probably use them, right? Let's just go all out on these guys. As soon as this bad pops, we're gonna need to use the Sabo. But this is gonna get close. So how is Corvus's mana looking? It's maxed out. Okay, so I'm thinking about the Soul Barrier, right? So if we can get to use that thing one more time. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Sabo, and then I'm gonna Soul Barrier immediately. So let's use the Sabo. Let's Soul Barrier. I think we even activated the thing. Oh, wait a minute, it's not enough. Are we even gonna defeat this thing? Get the explosion? Yes, it was Corvus' explosion that saved us from those BFBs. Yes, look at this thing. You guys see it in the background? There we go. So we were super lucky that it was just BFBs, because if it were ZOMGs, the explosion doesn't defeat them, I don't think. You need a hard level on Corvus. But yeah, that's the new Bomb Blitz. It's gotten buffed. It does a lot more damage now, and it's a lot better than it used to be. So that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.